We start Dateline Abuja for 2022 with great news. There's a new district in the nation's capital, Abuja Midtown, and it promises sugar and spice and everything nice. Yes, state-of-the-art infrastructure to meet the ever-increasing needs of Abuja's residents, and we tell you all about it in our feature story. This week, we're looking at some of the interviews we had in 2021, the conversations we had around the COVID-19 pandemic, the ban on cryptocurrencies in Nigeria, the fight against drug abuse, and the humanitarian crisis. It's our look back at 2021, and as always, we'll give you our Abuja wrap. It's 2022, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dateline Abuja. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to the New Year edition of Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa, and what a year we have planned for you. We plan to engage with you more, demand more, and deliver more. Let's begin with our Abuja wrap, a roundup of the activities during the week.
President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Development Initiative, PAGMI, to provide a 6-month progress report on the Solid Minerals Development Fund designed to capture accruals from investments. The President gave the directive when he received the steering committee and management team of PAGMI at the State House.
I expect a 6-month progress report that will clearly show significant progress by scaling up the program from its current pilot stage. The dedication of a portion of accruals to create a sustainable income stream from the Solid Minerals Development Fund is essential to delivering the mandates assigned to the fund.
The President also met with the leadership of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, promising to work on relevant measures to improve access to foreign exchange for the importation of raw materials and machines that cannot be sourced locally.
A strong manufacturing sector creates more jobs and wealth for our people. Nigeria will take appropriate measure to improve access to forex for importation of raw materials and machines that are not available locally.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan was among the dignitaries that met with the President within the week in the presidential villa. The details of their meeting were not made public. Dr. Jonathan is the ECOWAS chief mediator to Mali. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo paid a Christmas homage to President Buhari at the State House. The Vice President, who spent Christmas in Abuja for the first time in the last 6.5 years, was accompanied by his wife and children. Professor Osinbajo offered special prayers for the general progress of the country, as well as the well-being of the first family and the citizens. A week after receiving a copy of the 2022 appropriation bill, the President signed the bill into law. However, he had some reservations in some of the provisions made by the National Assembly.
The fiscal year 2022 is very crucial in our efforts to complete and put to use critical agenda projects, as well as improve the general living conditions of our people. It is in this regard that I must express my reservations about many of the changes that the National Assembly has made to the 2022 executive budget proposal. Some of the worrisome changes are as follows. A. Increase in projected federal government independent revenue by 400 billion naira, the justification for which is yet to be provided to the executive.
The President had a virtual event this week, and that is the commissioning of the 1,050-bed Spaces Student Hostel at the University of Uyo in Akwa Ibom State. He used the occasion to assure Nigerians that every kobo stolen from the Niger Delta Development Commission will be recovered. The hostel was built by the NDDC. The President also met with Governor Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State, who told State House correspondents that Southeasterners have a right to take a shot at the presidency because they understand and know Nigeria better. The President also received Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. However, the governor did not state the purpose of his visit to the State House. The President received in audience the Minister of Police Affairs, Alhaji Megari Dingyadi, as well as the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Usman Al-Kalibaba. Both men came to present the new Vice President of Interpol, Mr. Garba Umar, and Assistant Inspector General of Police. The President joined in the decoration of the Commander of the Presidential Air Fleet, Air Vice Marshal Abubakar Abdullahi, at the State House. His wife, Mrs. Aisha Abdullahi, as well as the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, also joined the decoration ceremony, which was witnessed by the National Security Advisor, General Babagana Monguno, and other family members. It's jubilation time for some officers of the nation's military as they were decorated with their new ranks. Over 200 officers across the three arms of the military were decorated at separate ceremonies held in Abuja. Speaking at the decoration of newly promoted officers of the Nigerian Air Force, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, charged the officers to brace up for the security challenges in 2022.
The responsibility that is entrusted in you by virtue of this decoration and this promotion demands that you do more. You need to escalate your level of commitment, your level of efficiency and effectiveness, because if 2021 is challenging, I'd like to assure you that year 2022 will be more challenging. And so this is the reason why I'd like to call on you to please brace up, because we must, at all costs, take away every form of insecurity in our land.
Finally, the decision of President Muhammadu Buhari to decline assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021 has provided a window of opportunity for the National Assembly to check some cross-referencing errors, grammatical and conflicting provisions in the document. These errors, 11 of them, were identified by a coalition of civil society groups led by Yaga Africa.
On cross-referencing gaps, we identified that in 5 sections of the bill, grammatical errors in 2 sections of the bill, duplicate provisions in 3, and then conflicting provisions in 1 section of the bill. Without doubt, these errors will occasion ambiguities, controversies, and legal complications in the implementation if the bill is enacted.
Welcome back. It used to be known as Gwagwa District. Now it is to be called Abuja Midtown, an ultra-modern medical city that is set to offer first-class comprehensive healthcare in a single location, with a vision to become a recognized destination of choice for quality healthcare, wellness, and medical education on the continent. It is planned to have a business campus, a 5-star hotel, a golf course, a polo field, and all within easy reach to the Central Business District, the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, the Interstate Railway, and the Abuja Light Rail. Our feature story looks at the proposed Abuja Midtown. Please watch this.
The Federal Capital Territory is getting ready to receive a new district. The district, which will be known as the Abuja Midtown, is carved out of the existing Gwagwa district. The new district is expected to gulp 117 billion naira from the private sector as investment in primary infrastructure, while attracting further sums to deliver the unique developments of the district. The proposed 841 hectares district is carved out from a green area under the Abuja Land Swap Initiative, which was suspended 9 years ago. The new initiative was introduced by the administration of the former FCT minister, Alhaji Bala Mohammed, who is now the governor of Bauchi State. The scheme is designed to remedy the infrastructure deficit in the nation's capital. In June this year, the Federal Executive Council approved the resumption of the scheme.
I understand that this project, when completed, is going to create a very beautiful city within a city. But one great challenge we are going to face, and we have to work about it, is how do we make sure that we have a beautiful access road on all sides leading to this particular district of Gwagwa. As was earlier indicated, the adoption of the Land Swap Infrastructure Swap Initiative, which is wholly private sector driven, is to provide needed infrastructure into the city. The program, as I said, was initiated by the previous FCT administration to grant land to private investors, and this is done according to law, because this particular initiative is recognized under Section 8 of the Land Use Act, which calls for private sector collaboration to integrate real property development with infrastructure provision. The basic concept of this program is to grant an agreed percentage of land to an investor for comprehensive development, and in exchange for this grant, the investor is to provide both specified infrastructure as well as resettlement costs. This particular initiative, based on the policy, is a 10-year comprehensive development plan with 4 years meant for the provision of infrastructure. And its primary objective, in the simplest form, include the encouragement of home ownership and reduction in the housing deficit in the FCT, the provision of infrastructure in designated districts, finding lasting solution to the resettlement and compensation challenges, and overall making sure that there is real estate development in the FCT. It is a 100% private sector driven program, which is to be carried out in strict compliance with the provisions of the Abuja Master Plan, and also in accordance with all the technical specifications and standards established by the Federal Capital City Development Authority, FCDA.
Land swap is not a land allocation project. We have not come here to start sharing land. That's why you have not seen any paper flying around. There is a commitment by the private, through a partnership with the organized private sector, to accelerate the development of the territory. Under this project, the partners will provide infrastructure that will accelerate the development of the territory. In this way, it is indeed a capital-intensive project and a demonstration of real faith and commitment by the private sector developer into the development of our capital city, the FCT.
Abuja Midtown, which is designed to feature an ultra-modern medical city, is expected to house a business campus and a leadership center, a 5-star hotel, a convention center, a shopping mall, an 18-hole golf course with resort living, as well as a polo field, residential developments, parks and recreational areas. It is located within easy reach of a central business district and the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. It would also be linked to major transportation arteries, including the National Railway, the Abuja Light Rail System, and the District Tramway. The plan is to execute the project as a public-private partnership.
Today's milestone event is a testament to our commitment to the provision of critical infrastructures for FCT residents in line with Mr. President's mandate for the administration. This is also a good step by the FCT administration towards resolving the bothersome challenge of infrastructure funding through budgetary allocations. The FCT administration decided to explore private sector funding options, as we are witnessing today, in exchange for land as a resource for the development of district infrastructure amongst other public-private partnership PPP schemes in FCT. The importance of this project, therefore, cannot be overemphasized, given the abundant investment opportunities embedded in the land swap program. This initiative will lead to greater inflow of revenue and activities, gainful employment for both the youth and women alike. I have no doubt in my mind that with this initiative, the administration can generate hundreds of billions of naira in internal generated revenue and fund its budget with less dependence on federal allocation.
The vision for the establishment of the district is to create a world-class destination for business, lifestyle, and tourism.
2021 was quite a year. We had 52 different conversations last year over a plethora of issues, and we got so much insight into a lot of the issues affecting us as a people. We kick off the new year on Dateline Abuja with a look back at some of those interviews and the insights our lovely guests provided us with in the course of 2021. What precautions should people be putting in place right now, seeing as it's spreading and killing people faster than ever before?
Well, you see, quite unfortunately, as you rightly said, people always talk about the big men, quote unquote, that die following the affliction of this COVID-19. Unfortunately, in the words of Shakespeare, people forget that when beggars die, comments are not seen. So, in the same manner, it's because it's the big people that the death of the big people that is usually recorded or attracts attention, so to speak. But that tells you that a lot of other people that less known are dying as well, which might not attract the attention of the media or even the general public. So it's quite unfortunate. Now, for now, what we are doing is to continue to hammer on the non-pharmaceutical interventions. So we're saying that people should be more conscious of what they do with themselves, where they go, what they do, and the activities they engage in. But this is not the best. You are safest in your own home environment. And of course, this is not the time to encourage people to visit. It's not, because of the realities of what we are seeing. So these non-pharmaceutical interventions, they still remain the mainstay of our COVID-19 response activities.
Are we a destination country? Do we have more users here? Or are we more of a trafficking country?
A long time ago, we used to be more a traffic country, not anymore. Now, we are mainly a consumer. Mainly, of the 14.3 million, 10.6 million use cannabis, which is mostly grown here. We import, that is to say, Nigerians, those who are criminals, import still some from Canada, some from Ghana, some from the US, skunk, Arizona, and all these others. But for the most part, it's grown here in Nigeria, and 77% of drug users in Nigeria concentrate on cannabis.
So 77% are cannabis users?
Yes.
So what other drug comes next after cannabis when it comes to use in Nigeria?
Okay, cocaine. Well, next in order, tramadol, then codeine, then cocaine, then heroin, then methamphetamine, in that order. And then you have the new psychoactive substances, all kinds of stuff which you don't buy. These are droppings, toilets, gutters, and stuff. It's horrible.
In what areas should the Nigerian government be looking at filling up these gaps? Where should this money be going?
You need about $100 billion every year for the next 30 years to be able to fill the gap. Now, looking at the fiscal space that we have, it is simply inconceivable, that kind of gap can be filled from budgetary allocations. So that's the point of trying to, sort of invite private sector capital into this critical space, the infrastructure space, to be able to provide the infrastructure stock that can drive the economy of this size. So if we say we need $100 billion annually for the next 30 years, it is very clear that trying to provide or bridge this gap from budgetary allocation is simply not feasible. So we have to be able to look at, elsewhere, the private sector space, where there is an unlimited amount of capital, depending on how you structure, your own engagement process as an economy, to be able to invite private sector capital, both local and foreign capital, to help bridge that gap. That is the only way to go.
Where should the money be going if we're going to see any kind of economic growth?
So it will also involve that. So we would like to sort of, demarcate that infrastructure space into two. So you have what you call the social infrastructure, and you have what you call the physical infrastructure. But we are talking more about the physical infrastructure. So you're talking roads, you're talking rail, you're talking power, you're talking about, the hardcore infrastructure that can drive the economy in terms of making it more competitive in production and being able to provide jobs and employment opportunities for the teeming number of Nigerians to be productively engaged, and just have that base to drive an economy of the size.
The federal government is trying to create a nexus between resilience to climate change and the impact that insecurity is having on the lives of the most vulnerable in society. Could you talk to us a bit about the importance of this day to Nigeria in particular?
We try to compare world leaders on the need for smart climate action, on the need to win this race rather than losing it. It's a race we can win. One of the key contributing factors to the herders and farmers crisis is the encouraging desertification that is becoming a problem. Although the changes in demography is also contributing to it, but there is definitely a competition for resources as a result of the impact of climate change. And I have witnessed the severity of the impact of the herders and farmers crisis, which is not one of the things that one would like to see in these days of ours.
The idea that the government is, stopping banks, telling banks to ban the accounts or, close the accounts of young people who have been doing cryptocurrency businesses in those accounts, that is enough for an uproar, and that is the uproar that we're seeing in society today. What should the CBN be doing differently?
Okay, first of all, let's again, if you don't mind, take a slight step backwards. There is certainly a need for some level of regulation of currencies, whether it's cowries, gold, paper, cards, or in this case, virtual currencies. The challenge is that we've not really, and that is, I believe, the regulators have not really been able to figure out a way to sufficiently, in their opinion, regulate this.
Can it be regulated?
We have to find a way. What has happened is that because we've not sat down early enough to think through the options, possibilities, and ramifications, we are actually on the back foot. We are reacting. And reaction, as one of my mentors has always told me, is that reaction is actually a sign of failure.
What a year we had. Thank you to everyone who talked with us last year. All the emails detailing the happenings in your various neighborhoods. And all of you who literally took us by the hand to show us the challenges you're facing in various parts of Abuja, from poor roads to poor electricity, to shanties, to kidnappings, and so much more. We will do more with you this year, so get ready. We're here for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screen. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.